Happy days. It is time for some FACEIT League. We're halfway through week 4 here in Season 7. It's our final week before we take a bit of a break heading into our, for New Year's and taking a couple weeks off there for the mid-season. But we still have a couple banger matches we have to get through. Tonight, we're going to be zooming in on Expert Division. See, we're there. We got Spa taking on NCSU Red. And NCSU Red, despite coming in with, perhaps a little bit lower in the standings, a couple more losses to their record. I think this match actually is pretty neck and neck. I might even give NCSU the edge here. I'm not sure. This one's gonna be a good one. You know what? Let's not take any more time. Let's just go in. Let's have a look. See how they're doing. I was gonna say we'll start with standings, but I had the match page pulled up already, so it's like, yeah, we'll just go ahead and look at the match page. That's fine. It is Spa's first year in the league, as I was saying. Not only do they have the best profile picks, across FACEIT League, at least across the division, maybe across all of FACEIT League. Because, this is just fantastic. But they also have spectacular teamwork to go with it. The buff of having coordinated profile picks also is reflected in game. They do look very coordinated in game. So far, have shown up with a 6-1 record here in their debut in FACEIT League Expert. But I will say, they haven't had the toughest strength of schedule. Their one loss is to one of the best teams in the division, in Team Knife. And then, 5 shooters, that's a good win, but I feel like 5 shooters have kind of underperformed this season compared to previous seasons. Hypnos is a team that, I've been keeping a close eye on, but I still don't know if it's enough to really push the needle. Now we have this Spa team already pretty highly rated in our power ranking committee. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and pull those up for you real quick. We have Spa rated in 6, which did not move after their initial placement from preseason. One of the very few teams that just kind of sat in their spot. And part of that was because with the information we had just wasn't very telling, right? They were beating teams that, we did not have super highly rated, right? These are decent wins. These aren't, very bottom of expert or anything, but they're, just outside of that top 16, just outside of that playoff line or hovering right around it. Whereas getting into this next stretch with NCSU and Fallen Destiny, were previously known as Extinction Archelon, right? So now we're getting into more of your top-rated squads. We've got NCSU moving up 2 slots. Currently sitting at 5th place overall. Fallen Destiny, even after dropping a slot, are still in 3rd. Right, so you're going from facing top 16 teams to top 5 teams, right? That's a big difference, and especially since we have this ball at 6, just outside of this top 5, this precious top 5. This will be a very telling match. I think these two are just neck and neck. Again, NCSU Red were 4-1 at the time we made this. Spa have won their 2 matches since. NCSU Red have dropped their 2 matches since we did these power rankings updates after week 2. Hey, go ahead and swap sides here and take a look at NCSU Red. I still think it's completely understandable. So you open up with 4 wins against Athena, and their Vengeance also in there, who's a team who's recently kind of pinged our radar. We're going to get on stream for the first time tomorrow. So I definitely rate that win a bit. But then you've hit this tough stretch. You've got Wink, Fallen Destiny, and Elemental Normal. So those were your 2 teams where we talked about they dropped their 2 series since making the power rankings update. Those 2 teams that they lost to, very high in our rankings. Fallen Destiny, once again, 3rd rank. Wink is in 4th. Okay, we have Normal in 12th as of right now. I think this is a telling loss. Normal, I will say, Normal have been slightly inconsistent. I don't know if this is a worrying loss or if this is Normal showing their true potential. Right, it's honestly kind of tough to tell at this stage in the season, but this is the standout. That's the standout loss here that NCSU kind of need to bounce back from. And this would be the way to do it. Again, we had 5th and 6th in power rankings between these 2 squads coming into week 3. So that was after 2 weeks of play. All right, Nepal pick from the Spa. It's gonna be a Soj ban. Good side swap for you. Oh, shoot, I don't have Overwatch open. It is going to be a Diva ban here at NCSU Red. And our teams are ready. Are you ready? Our teams are ready.
Ready
Oops. Nope. Also incorrect. There we go. Vendetta is 100% playable, and we're seeing already rolling out a Spawn. Oblivion does switch the Symmetra for the rollout, and then we'll go back into the Vendetta. Oh my goodness, Viola picks up Lobby, though. That's just nasty volley of Doritos. Sure, they weren't the only one getting damage in on that. Everybody found that first pick. Caught Lobby peeking early. An aggressive pusher from the Spa should give them first cap. I'm seeing more and more bash. What is this skin? This skin is actually amazing. Oh my goodness. Is this one of the new Christmas skins or holiday skins? I've never seen the Bastion Snowman. This is quite the fit, my friend. This is quite the fit. Peyton, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Rep calling all managers. A moment of silence for calling all managers. Oh, but only a moment. One Jacob. Kicking ass. Oh, Bunkachunko found the revenge. Revenge of the Lucio. And CSU Red did get flipped throughout that. Tied up in percentage here. Or is just getting aggressive. Goes right up into the hut. Now layered in with the Kitsune Rush. Good, trying to protect his backline here with an Ant Matrix. I did not see where the Ant Matrix was. Then CSU have managed to maintain control of the T. Once again, Juarez once again trying to get aggressive. Wheels out at Cornsuolio, and they do have a teleporter in there. All right, regroup for another attack. Teleport on the port, Cornsuolio. We're gonna drop the artillery strikes up on top of the T. This gives you only a chance to get in position, control your wheels down, but Bunkachunko sound barrier is enormous. And CSU Red are able to find Cornsuolio through that. Viola's Annihilation actually doing work on point, though. Might just turn this around. Had the photon barrier in play, but just gonna chase Aurora's down. Less a loot, less a light. I appreciate the follow as well. It says Cornsuolio in chat. I love the emote with that as well. The tennis ball ducky is kind of cute. Even though it's very AI-like. It's AI. Okay, coastal approach. From NCSU, you've got Lobby sneaking in up top. Try to find an angle here. Ooh, gets one of those shots in. Gonna try to layer the bow shot over the top, but he just doesn't get the shot off in time. Cornsuolio is able to get the shots up, stop Oblivion and Lobby in their tracks. The Gong of Death on the back of that Ant Matrix. The Kitsu and the Sundering, was it Sundering Blast or Sundering Strike? Something like that. Oblivion's Vendetta ult. Point being, you end that fight with two powerful ults in the pocket. Now both of those ults are coming out here. Oh, the Wad Jacob just got destroyed. Fast and Furious, Vendetta, chopping it up here on the point, and this is going to send us to one final fight. But you get the touch. Oblivion looking to come, don't know wallet. Had enough of Jacob bouncing in and out. Decides to pick up Viola on the way out. Woo! Lock in on Zispa. And this Vendetta just destroys anything on the point. An NCSU red opening round win here on Village. Is Cornsuolio the jolliest player of all time? Yes. So, I mean, Village, you have to get in close quarters. You have to go fight in that little 15 by 15 meter square. And Oblivion's able to just destroy once you get in that range. That short to medium range, ideal. And Vendetta's got some reach as well. Of course, here's a bit of a battle of cooldowns. Battle for Bridge here at the moment. As Spa push all the way up using the teleporter as Zispa. They're able to get some early presence. Now shifting back to the point. Oblivion has circled around and is able to regroup with the fight on the stairs, but Spa just dips. They all head down to the objective by the time Oblivion's in. Now Oblivion gets to the point first. Like, fine, I want a piece of the action. Oh, everybody's just huddled up inside. There's some chunky cutting edges going through. Powering up the speed of the Vendetta to level 5. Does not hit the overhead strike. Slides out to mid. Great rotations out of Spa. Oh, but Jacob gets caught on the corner. Doesn't quite make it in. Zispa will get battered down on the outside as well. But Viola has been able to answer Goobs and Matrix. Powerful into this fight and well placed. Bob throwing out the objective. Aurora is out. Bob will tag in for a moment. Viola will take care of everybody. Spa will get a flap. I was saying, Oblivion was playing on the outside there. Ooh, Lobby runs in to grab a Mega. Actually, you see a Suzu used there at the end. That not ideal from Nelix. We're sitting back, seeing a lot of criticals, feel low on health, sound barrier, and annihilation tossed in. But Bunker Chuckle has the answer. NCSU are able to slingshot back in. And a good boop just puts Cornsuolio into a bad spot. So despite feeling like NCSU were kind of on the back foot there for a moment, they're able to get both their support ults and that annihilation in play. Damage output of this Bastion kind of versus the explosive burst of the Vendetta. It's fascinating. Speaking of, the Sundering Blade over the top. I think Sundering Slice? I don't know, something like that. Bob on point from Lob. Didn't Bob? Wow, I feel like Lob just had a Bob. But it's the firepower of the Bastion that's getting it done here. 4K for Cornsuolio. Actually, it's a 3K plus a Bob in this fight. So when you're not forced to fight in kind of a, small square, Oblivion's not quite getting as much value. Teleporter to try to get Viola and the rest out of there. Yep, everybody's off the bridge. So Oblivion spins more cooldowns just to try to cover that gap. Artillery strike from Cornsuolio is going to hit Lobby, though, while they're in transition. Oh, I don't know how Viola got Aurora's with a Vortex, but that's just nasty. I don't know if it pulled him off the edge or what, but that's just nasty. Viola, too deadly indeed. You're gonna need some of it. You're gonna need some of that coming into this next fight. 84, 85 to 81. And Viola's coming up on another one of those annihilations. We saw a really good kite, a good answer out of the support ultimates from NCSU. Last time we had this combo about to happen. 8 Matrix in play and 400 Consuelo. You got the lamp up above them as well. Juarez gets popped. The double support ults are in. Both tanks are down. Juan Jacob, it will throw down the bait. The sounds ring out. Oblivion sundering. Well, I'm not sure if it got. Let me just set up Zispa for a kill. You mark Consuelo in a 2v1 on the bridge for control of the map. Will not win it out. And that is NCSU grabbing our first map. There we go. Okay, so we're on a Shambali here for map 2. And we're gonna Weong ban out of the spot. Honestly, like, who is that Aurora Sky Splash? Honestly, we gotta get a Bastion ban here out of NCSU. Give you some quick stats there from first map as we get loaded in here. What stats out? Juarez 27 and 5. Top elims. But top damage goes to Lobby there on the Freya. 13.3k. Fewest deaths goes to Nelix. And you're hearing things in the background, but we don't have enough players. Like, somebody's not loaded in. I feel like that was some sort of TikTok challenge that they perfectly flipped the vase or bucket or whatever that is. Well done. Well done, Juan Jacob. Juarez and NCSU coming out with a Sigma here to defend on Shambali Monastery. Not something you see very often. It's typically the home of Ramatra. Offensive brawl, sometimes a Zarya, maybe to kind of go for a high damage ground and pound. But you don't often see the Sig in this kind of poke comp, particularly now. I was going to say particularly when paired with a Vendetta, but I think it's actually enabled by the Vendetta. Vendetta is able to kind of play the off tank in this role, and so Juarez can sit up top. We've seen this already where the tank can just sit up here. Previously it was with a Zarya, and so you can use the bubble to kind of help cover. We get the rush up, and Oblivion can just relocate. And so there's no player disadvantage for the defense. Now you get just Vendetta drops down to a whole corner and is completely supported by the team. Lobby able to, this is what the defense wants. So Oblivion can dance around here on the front line and just place a stay. You see the Suzu used to help keep them alive through that. Dropping it off the top. Ropes, rock lands. Viola back at spawn. Oh, Buckachoco went hunting for one. Ends up eating one to the face. Consuelo finds an equalizer. And that speed is important. So look for respawns to come in for the spa and for them to come back with the quickness. We're actually getting Viola match the Sigma. Even though it did get the hotfix nerf, still was an overall buff for Sig as far as raw damage, right? Did end up meeting that buff in the middle. But overall, Sig is still more powerful in Season 20 than he was in Season 19. Whoop! Cooldown cycle. Are they favoring Aurora's right there? Caught Viola in the wrong rhythm. Well, that's a good feeling. You know, caught them with rock in hands, no shield in the way. Kitsu, though, out of the high ground rotation. Lobby, yeah, that's a defensive kill. Picking up 2. Able to get the Bob into the mix, kind of making up their own presence or lack thereof on this point. And this defense will hold. It does cost him a Kitsu on top of Mr. Butler. We didn't see us here able to stabilize. Are you going back to your previous setup? It looks like they're kind of changing their setup. They're going to go ahead and keep Aurora's down on the low ground. Lobby playing out of the center house now. So this is because the cart's pushed around the corner, Lobby cannot just safely sit up here. It's too dangerous for them to sit up here anymore. You got to have that out of playing in the house. Quartzolio with an overclock. And just as Oblivion was trying to stage. Oh, that Flux looks good, though. That will absolutely take Quartzolio down. Rock to the back. Viola's in a bad spot. Yeah, punched into the wall. Right back into a respawn timer. Zispa's the best in the world. Says chat, by the way. Says chat. I will say, Spar able to corral in CSU through this archway. Now they got to fight their way up the hill. Ooh, they're going to have to do it without Quartzolio. Not ideal. Zispa's getting rocked on the front line. Let's see what Viola can do with this Flux. Looks like he caught 2, including Aurora's in that. Jacob's going to throw in the sound barrier, and we're going to push forward. Here we go. Kitsu rush throw. And Lobby coming here just shooting down the straight with extra attack speed. Teleporter from Zispa under complete control. Precious few seconds remain here on the attack, at least in regular. And Viola is down. Lobby's getting the picks. And CSU have a Bob at play. Have built an absolute fortress here on the other side of this archway.
Initiating match. Ready for battle.
Very good hold for NCSU. Nelix does not die.
3, 2, 1.
6 deaths total, half of a bucket choco. An aggressive teleport to try to find an angle towards this high ground. Looking for Quartzolio. And opening pick onto the hit scan would just be enormous. Worth another attempt here, going for the jump shot. But nobody presents themselves, nobody peeking. Well, we thought about swapping off. There's no trace or anything to really threaten Lobby in the back line. They got lots of time to sit back there. Bunker Choco goes down. So now it is more than 50% of the team's deaths. 4 of the 7. Oh, great Suzu. Out to go. But watch, Jacob still falls. The Spa is starting to get pushed back. How far are looking low? Both Sigs will go down. Oblivion tried to dash out. His Corn Swallow was able to duck in, grab the Mega amidst all that. It is a huge chunk of healing on a nice edge fight. Yeah, I was going to say, now the card's still rolling. Thank you. Thank you, Kiriko. I was going to say the same thing. And remember, the box of victory is just right there. Oblivion pushing in through the inside of the house. Viola has no choice but to come contest the card. Grunt Swallow needs to stay alive. Playing on coastal side. Good shot! Well, fine, lobby. You do still have this Oblivion Vendetta to worry about. Comes flying in over the top. Goob will put it right back into the dirt. And Spa will hold on, giving themselves another opportunity. 2 minutes remain here in map 2. At the most. Both teams with a lot of ultimates. This is going to be an explosive fight. Let's do the Kitsu. It's going to be the Kitsu into the Flux to start things off. Goob caught in the Flux is able... No, the Suzu was too early. Goob dies. Will not get their Kitsune Rush into this fight. Kurzwanu gets picked off by the Oblivion Sunder. Oh, but Sisma gets 3. No shot. Sisma gets 3. Oh, no. Spa. Spa hold. The Spa hold. Put that one in the highlight reel. What? Goob? Goob's like, we gotta get back. It's a race. It's a race to get back. The Spa's defense is here. Viola gets a kill on Oblivion. And NCSU need to go back to the drawing board and regroup. What a clutch play out of Zispa. I can't wait to see that one in the play of the game. Sorry I didn't catch it. That was enormous. Potentially map saving, potentially series saving. The difference between an 0-2 and a 1-1 if Spock can hold on for one more fight. You do have a sound barrier to work with. A huge advantage. Oblivion, though, with their own Sundering. We've seen the power of this ultimate up over the rooftop. Roof surfing in. He's going to drop right on the back of Viola. They're out. You get the one Jacob ultimate out, and now you're going to immediately turn around and try to sunder those shields away. But Viola has already punched through Juarez, and the tank fight goes the way of the Spa with 5 seconds to go. Oblivion booped. No touch! Spa hold. We are tied at 1 apiece. That was a hell of a map. Yeah! Nice hero, they said. Nice hero. Hey, I mean, I know, like, for me, I'm still getting used to that call out. But it does go through literally everything. There's no blocking that. It goes through shields, sound barriers, I mean, utility as far as lamps and equipment. It goes through everything. But it does have, like, a 2-second setup time, which is pretty enormous. It's like the same as like bomb, right? I knew this one was gonna be a banger. I know everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. I mean, for one, okay, we gotta give Expert their hours, okay? They deserve their screen time. They deserve their flowers and their hours. And I'm not neglecting Expert because now we have this double default day with Expert Master sharing today. I still want to get I'm still trying to get 2 Expert matches and 3 Master matches on a week. That's the goal. But furthermore, between both divisions, this one stood out. And Spa was itching to get on stream anyway, and I was like, this looks like a banger. I've got you right neck and neck in the power rankings. And so far, we're looking neck and neck here in this series. NCS, you're going to respond with a King's Row pick. Because we're trying to stay out of the kind of the flex DPS Zarya bubble look, I think. Because I've seen a lot of Bastion Vendetta combos and stuff. So we had let me start this over. I've seen this, what we're calling the blender comp, which it's, you know, Vendetta Bastion with a Zarya. And so we're seeing the Bastion banned out from NCSU in map 2. We're getting the Zarya banned out from NCSU in map 3. I think they're very specifically trying to avoid this kind of double flex DPS comp. I don't even know if double flex DPS is accurate. We'd have to get like OC or, you know, some of the coaches in here and analyze that. I don't know if that's even accurate because I was talking to Coach Boond about it, saying that, you know, Vendetta could potentially be like a utility DPS. Could be like an all new thing altogether. And we see a lot of, especially in Shambali, you see the off-tank aspect of the Vendetta kit come into play versus the more assassin. But Vendetta can absolutely shift and do both and be everywhere all at once. I mean, that very much resembles kind of the way D.Va played in Overwatch 1, right? Where you become a very heavy, hard to kill tracer. And can anchor, and can reposition, can peel, can get aggressive, can confirm kills, can do it all. So it does feel like NCSU are attacking this kind of specific blender comp that we've been seeing. Let's see. I owe you a ban from Spa. Well, there you go. We're not getting the Vendetta either. Let's get into Kinks. Knot it up. What a piece. Here you go. There's your points. Get you some gambas here for map 3. Look at me go. Good streamer. Good streamer. Pat myself on the head. Pat myself on the head. What we doing? Are we just hanging out? We having a little conversation?
5, 4, 3.
All right, let's get into Kings. In lieu of our bans, we are going to get a Ramatra composition out of the defense of Spa. Zispa is going to stick with this Symmetra. This is ringing bells. Speaking of, we're going to teleport. All the way aggressive move. Blitzkrieg attack here in the very first fight out of NCSU. Trying to catch this defense a little bit flat-footed. Did not give them time to react, but a good play out of Viola. I'm not sure if Lobby didn't make the rotation or how they got caught within Viola's clutches. That's not where you wanted your Sojourn to be. And now a very awkward decision here from NCSU. They're kind of staged behind a bit of a flip of the map. We're going to TP you to the high ground. Lobby goes to a Widowmaker. Actually had a great bamboozle moment there, but Lobby not able to find any targets. Gustav, I appreciate the follow. That was a genuine great bamboozle moment, though. That was really cool. Zisma's going to find a pick. This defense will run down the D.Va. Oh my god, this Splice trying to give me motion sickness. Trying to avoid headshots. Just DM everything they could. But a momentary push in the hotel results in a quick loss of mech. You are able to kind of entrench. This teleporter is actually important because it gives you full access for your backline and your hit scan to the high ground. Splice is able to remech, and the attackers have become the defenders here in a very defensible point A. Kitsune Rush in play only makes it more difficult for Viola to try to challenge. The Annihilation got absolutely nothing. We do have an OC from Cornsolio to try to swing a very much losing fight. And wow, Boca Chunko lands that beat with a sliver of health remaining. Fight still not done despite all of that, but eventually the cleanup from NCSU and the clever flips and rotations pay off. Splice is now stuck in an interesting spot. What you got? Let's see. Looking for a teleport. Get Splice out. Has bomb and a teleporter, so you have lots of outs in case things go wrong. Yep, there it is. Finds the teleporter. with 130 health is able to escape after just some initial harassment on Cornsolio. Yeah, if you're able to get the kill, awesome. Does not quite work out. So battle for the front line here now. Push in. Both photon barriers have been invested. Kitsu's available from this defense. We'll see if Goob wants to invest this. Kind of stuck in an awkward angle. Yeah, you're going to have to use your swift step regroup. Oh, hits Lobby, drops the bricks. We're going forward. The surge all the way back into point A here for the Spa defense. Picking up kills all along the way. That was a 3-ult investment there out of the Spa defense. Splice has had enough of the Diva. Gonna match through Mantra. You do still have the Nulix Kitsu. I do like the fit. Oh, that looks good. The mythic weapon with the skin, like, kind of has the same color on the arms, like fading. That looks good. We're gonna get the Consignor Rush in play. Whoa, Nulix took a lot of damage, but he's able to swift step back into some safety. This buys them the fish and chips corner, but not a whole lot more. You don't get any kills on the back of that ultimate. And the defensive Spa are able to move up to the final corner. Now they're able to separate Splice. Oh, Splice is in a lot of trouble. That is not good. Viola's going to continue to run forward with Annihilation. They can be fearless with their aggression here and continue to pick up kills, driving NCSU all the way back into point A. All right, let's look for a... Can we get a good rotation in? Seems to be how NCSU were able to get the first point. So here in the neutral, I'm keeping an eye on Oblivion. They're able to get that beam fully charged up on the shield of Viola. You're going to have to work through Viola's block and Annihilation, I think, before you can really push around this corner, though. And there's no cheat for that. There's no shortcut. You just got to whittle down the health. All right, you're going to teleport away. Okay, you get the Annihilation out. Back up. Okay. All right. Now the Annihilation has faded. You're going to have to work through another Nemesis form. Splice goes forward. Top barrier in play. This is going to get Splice's ultimate build up. Nice layering here on NCSU as they do, in fact, pop the Annihilation. But consider a rush and a photon barrier out of this defense has made it difficult for Splice to get any value. They're going to get cut down. Viola and the Spa will hold. Teleport up top. I'm trying to see if you can get Lobby in the swing position. Lobby had most damage in the server. Map 1, OC, high ground from the top of the... Woo! And you're able to get Cornsolio. Perfect targeting. Get the hit scan out of the fight. You cancel Cornsolio's overclock as well. Dancing around this photon barrier. It's a beautiful double DPS investment with 10 seconds remaining out of NCSU red. They've sent the Spa defense scrambling. Viola is in a position to touch. Zispa might be able to get the rest of the team up here. You have no ultimates to work with here if you're the defense. Okay, scratch that. You are going to get an Annihilation. No, you're not. Viola goes down. Point caps. Flash Tech, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for the huge raid. I hope you had a great stream. I hope you had a great match. If y'all are playing, I assume that's what was happening. I hope it went your way. At the very least, you had a good time. Learned something, you know, all those things. All those things. Splice surrounded. And NCSU are resetting here. That was a good one. FRGD, I appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. I'm still giggling at the Soj voice actor fall. That was great. Alright, a little bit, maintain some high ground. Sound barrier invested from Bunker Choco. Does not get spliced. Splice, back it up. Looking for some safety. Kitsune Rush Annihilation in play out of the defense with 6 seconds remaining. Beautiful Vortex right on the corner. Splice has to run in front of it. No choice but to try to muscle through to the next corner. You've got a Kitsu at your back and guns pointed at your opponent's tank. Trust in your team. NCSU carry on in this OT. Still going to be one more fight. With a photon barrier, the defense have some tools. Might be able to build up toward the sound barrier as well. Lobby's not in this fight either for NCS here. Photon barrier is in play. This does mean Oblivion just gets free charge, and so Viola melts them immediately. Cannot let that sim just sit there. Quartzuolio with an OC off of the backside puts it into this attack. Nice 3-piece to close it out. So even number of team fight wins feels like it should favor NCSU in this regard, but Spa do a great job of time management. They're able to make every minute costly and a little painful there for NCSU Red. But we've seen plenty of better holds. It's not a fuller hold. It's not a full hold. But we've seen plenty of better holds on King's Row before. Second point stops in particular. I think that's going to kind of be the benchmark. If you're this defensive NCSU Red, you're hoping you can eat enough time off of first that when you get to second, you can hold on the back a second and really make your stand there. Defensive teleporter going back and forth between the high grounds. Keep an eye on where Zispa wants to go here to start. Some early poke damage. It looks like we're just playing around statue. Nothing overly fancy for the attacking Spa. Keeping it simple, stupid. They take statue, then just put a teleporter up top, forces Lobby to retreat, and then go try to take this fight down low. That was an enormous disruptor shot. Quartzuolio just got so much ult charge off of that. And it felt like NCSU didn't know whether they wanted to push forward or backwards. It ended up everybody just standing in that disruptor. They took so much damage. They rotate to the high ground, but they've given up point control. Splice has moved through the house to try to retake this high ground, but it's taken some time. And there's already been one tick given up by this defense in that rotation. Now, move the drop. You do finish off Goob. Splice gets picked off. Let's go to Zispa's pop. I'm sorry, that was a little confusing, but I want your attacking sim here. Oh, Oblivion. Oblivion just keeps the beam focused on one teleporter. And eventually, they're coming back. Throw over here. So the teleport up top, the drop down Kitsu out of Nelix. You're able to run down Zispa. Little do-si-do here on this point. Spa back up towards the double-decker. They're going to get their fifth back in this fight and respond with their own Kitsune rush. Perhaps looking to build up towards Zispa's photon barrier before they push in as well. They're going to have all 5 ultimates. So far, 2 minutes eating off the clock here for NCSU, and this is exactly what they wanted, but Quartzuolio does find a great opener. Bunker Chunk at 98% to sound barriers, the first to fall. Rotation onto the point, Viola a little bit low. Kitsune Rush now finally invested, but Spa already down 2 by the time it happens. Lobby's OC from the high ground. This is just pummeling them with damage. The photon barrier is in play here from the defense as well. Now the sound barrier layered on top, and Splice goes running in. You know what? It was the DPS nobody expected. It's Goob with the 3-piece on the point. And the Kiriko's Spa pushes them over the line. But hey, NCSU do eat 3 minutes off that clock. Both teams kind of getting what they want here. Neither team getting exactly how they want it. You know, it's not down to overtime. It's not all 4 minutes eaten off the clock. And obviously, you know, Spa would have loved to come into point B with, 5.5 minutes. Kind of somewhere in the middle for both teams. Summer advantage for Spa. We are going to get that down and go just leaping in. Viola took a ton of damage. By the time I looked up, Viola already didn't have shield. Split second after that beat hit. No value out of the sound barrier. I mean, we didn't even game. Wasn't even a disengage. NCSU Red just held the line. Just stood there stubbornly. And now look at this slingshot. Oh my god. A relentless pursuit. Run down out of the NCSU defense. Spectacular. You get the Gong of Death as well. A flawless team fight. I don't know if that was just didn't have any cooldowns drawn out before you dropped the beat. Or what exactly happened there. But yeah, Splice, it looked like, Splice just dropped dropped a shield, Nelix Suzu, and they just stood there stubbornly. Beat faded, Kitsu reply, and my goodness, what a rundown. Alright, teleport into, we tried to get the teleport out. Did not finish the animation. You saw the start to throw it up. So it just run down in Main Street. Cornswallow actually popping the ult. Feel like we're kind of going to a plan B here. I think they were trying to teleport Kitsu and it got interrupted. But Cornswallow's plan B is having a good, so far good results. Lobby's already down. Losing Viola, not ideal though, especially since you've tossed in your own photon barrier into this. Here comes Goob. We're going to try to win this. Goob got 3 kills in the opening point to take point A. Drops the Kitsu here. You're able to run down Bunkachunko. You do force a retreat. Couple of good kunais landed to Splice. And Juan Jacob with the finish. Goob once again saves the Spas. Behinds here. Goob is saving your ass. All right. I'm not beating around the bush. Goob is saving your ass. So our Vanguard chat says Goob is GOAT. That does it again 2 minutes later. You wait. I don't know. It didn't show up in the kill feed as much, but what a well-timed Kitsu. You gotta have a lot of faith to throw that one in. You're not. That's a tight call. That's where you can justify the call going either way. But if you're gonna invest, you got to make it pay off. And Spa certainly did. 40 seconds now to try to cap point B, and this is where NCU wants to make their hold. They cannot let Spa into the Foundry. Sound barriers in from Juan Jacob. Viola's going to go ahead and drop the Nemesis form. Holds on to the ultimate until now. We're layering in the Annihilation on top. Cornswallio gets a pick. Jumping over the cart. Viola's able to just hone in and take Oblivion out of this fight. In a very chaotic fight where Viola just had everybody on lock. Well played out of the tank. Buck 38 going into the Foundry. This cart does make it near the end. So, you know what? Maybe it could get a little further than I was initially thinking. With only 90 seconds, and CSU are still not in a terrible spot. Now, that was a terrible teleporter. I don't think Splice wanted on the low. Maybe they did. Maybe that was intentional. Calculated. Photon barrier engaged. Zispa looking to go run everybody down, but Oblivion gets them out with the teleporter. Splice with the form will keep the block up. Make it over to the right-hand side. Bunko Chogi, you saw fly out of the window, regroups as the defense makes one final stand, 60 seconds to go. I only see 4 players here. Oh, okay, there's Bunko Choco, or excuse me, there's Juan Jacob hiding on the top with Cornswallio now investing the OC teleport across, and you get Lobby sliding into the enemy backline. Suzu used on the Bunkachunko to clear off that flank. It's a beat for 1 to try to save this map, but there's no salvaging this one. Spa, take King's Row. Okay. Quite the clap back there. Spa winning back-to-back maps. NCS Red will get the ability to get Oblivion back into that Vendetta on this map as well. Lucio ban out of NCSU. Let's go take a look at some stats there from map 3. Lucio ban is interesting. You don't often see a Lucio ban out. Like, everybody loves Lucio. Especially in this meta and on a you know, kind of ground and pound style map that is Runasapi. I wonder what the game plan is compositionally here for NCSU. I mentioned the team fights felt pretty even. They're coming out of NCSU's attack, but Spa really kind of took it to him there on NCSU's defense. The elims still look fairly close. You do get Cornsuelio coming out with 19.6k, 19.3k out of Viola. Cornsuelio, though, with that 30 bomb, just shy of a 20 bomb in damage dealt. Leads in elims and damage, respectively. Fuse deaths share between Viola, Goobs, and Beeman, who is Juan Jacob in game. Of course, of course. Let's go fight some twin bulls. My Taurus Gemini cuss buddies. Whee! Let's get a map 4. See, get you some pred. Spa 1 map 3. NCSU, looking at you. Gamba Bell, NCSU. Get your Gambas in. Do you believe your team will force a map 5 here? Warden, currently on a 10 stream watch streak. You've got to be kidding me. Thank you much. Thank you so much, Warden. I appreciate you being here. 10 streams in a row. Thank you so much. It means a lot. That means the world. Truly, truly, that means the world. All right, let's get into it. Oh, I forgot to reset the... I was going to reset Overwatch to try to fix our margins up top. I'm sorry, y'all. I owe you a Spa ban. Because obviously with Oblivion now able to pick up the Vendetta, that ban is from Kings. Let's see. Our ban here is actually a Sigma out from the Spa. So I'll get that plugged in and I'm just going to let you enjoy some Oblivion pop here for a moment. And apparently I picked the right pop. As Oblivion will get 4 in that fight to open up map 4. Let's go into CSU. Sometimes you just get lucky, I suppose. Okay, we are seeing the hit scan paired here. So like I talked about, we kind of been seeing hints of a double flex DPS comp. We also heard that there might have just been, you know, like somebody's hit scan was sick. Like there might have been other things involved in that. But I'm still kind of, you know, just trying to keep, you know, in the... somewhere in the gray matter. Keep an idea of how people are utilizing this new hero. Obviously, just a good shot from Cornsuelio. You find your tank. Splice gets focused down. That, what, 450 or 475 on Zarya. You know, you get caught without your bubbles. You can melt through that pretty quick. She does have a pretty big dome on her. The big pink hair can kind of just be a target. So the bubble engage onto Oblivion. Sorry, hit wrong pop. Now we are getting Zispa also playing our newest hero here. And the real big difference is between Juan Jacob, our main supports are, you know, we got a Brig here alongside the Viola Ramatra. So a lot more stability and kind of staying a little more deathball, a little more sustained. Versus, yeah, you see Bunker Choco just gets popped. I was going to say, you got the Wu Yong and the Zarya on the other side, which is just a ton more damage, but not nearly as much health and sustain. Well, I guess it's 550 on the Zarya, excuse me. I said 475, but 550 on the Zarya. Crybaby, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. That was Oblivion. Just spin it in with the Tidal Blast. I don't know if that Orbital... Okay, yeah, Orbital does make it into play. We're going to get the Sundering Strike down right on top of Viola's head. And a quick little combo to finish off Goob. Oblivion is having a hell of a map so far. I see Lobby kind of already getting in a position to set up. Cornsolio's opened up with a couple of picks already here in this map. Try to protect the lead here from the spawn. Orbital Ray in play. This was already able to get one. Threw in their own Sundering there at the beginning of that. It just goes right through the Zarya bubbles. It's just mean. It's just mean. Watching up with the rally, gets the stun up, but the bubble was there. Saw the bubble come up just in the nick of time to protect against the stun. And Juan Jacob is back at spawn with Viola, watching the timer. Zispa will get revenge. 3v4 here for spot in this fight. Well, favoring NCSU in the fight. And they are going to go ahead and win it out. Yeah, that was... I totally called that fight great. That was good, great casting from me, let me tell you. I'm so good. I'm so good. That's a huge opportunity for a grab. Oblivion gets the Tidal Blast, knocks Viola down, but they just pop the Annihilation. Viola scampers away with a Soaring Strike. Vespa's gonna fight too here. Goes after the Juno. Ooh, can't quite get the overhead. Oh, if you connected with that overhead and got the 3-piece, you might be able to swing it. The Juno stays alive, so Splice gets topped up. I saw the vision, Vespa. I saw the vision. You almost had that. Dangerously close to a checkpoint. NCSU are gonna have to abandon the bot. Oh, off the jump pad, locating Oblivion with that. That was nasty. Orbital Ray has been invested from NCSU as well. Lobby jumping up there towards the jump pad section here in the middle, trying to get some value out of that orbital, but really nothing to be found there. Now we're gonna get the response. Let's see, where's this one? Also right here in the middle. The bot has run away from NCSU, by the way. Bot's over here. Close spawns picked up, cutting through the house. Splice is looking to intercept. Oblivion goes around the long way. Gonna be a Zispa Thundering Strike, catching Oblivion. And Cornsolio's got an OC to cover anybody else who dares get close. God, that Thundering Strike has so much verticality. There was just like no escape. Oblivion was in the skybox and got just ripped down. I mean, I think Superman would be able to escape that ultimate. Splice won't get the Tidal Blast. Goes after Juan Jacob in the brig. This is looking like a fight win out of NCSU. You got about 320 remaining, so plenty of time to come back on this, but you still need to get a checkpoint. I think it's going to take you 2 more fights to get that checkpoint, too. We'll see how far you're able to come. Yeah, I know. Your boss can get stopped in the middle. This is going to take 2 more fights. Splice hoping to catch Juan Jacob there early. An early grab, maybe even get the rally out would have been ideal. But they rotate, coming out from the other side. Grab is in play. Grab from Splice, though, does catch everybody coming through that doorway. And there's just low health bars all around. No Symmetra in play. Nobody to teleport out of there. Juan Jacob does strike back. But second fight win in a row here on NCSU. That'll be enough for the checkpoint. So I was worried it might cost you one more fight, depending on how far you're able to get the bot. But since they already had so much progress, yeah, no, we get checkpoint, which is a good marker here for NCSU, considering there's just over 2 minutes remaining. NCSU with the centering strike, kind of dropping in. That's a huge 2-player hit by the overhead. Man, if you did more damage from falling out of the sky, that would have been max. All right, we're going to aerial center strike. Has got both supports in sight. Both supports are low. Goop at 1 health will not get out from the whirlwind. A couple of cutting edges thrown towards Cornsuolio, but neither connect. So we're going to settle for a 3-hit combo onto Viola. Make it 2 of them. Viola, just gets cut to ribbons. NCSU will win a 3rd team fight in a row. Boca Choco and Nelix both still making their way back into this fight. Oblivion using the whirlwind to engage on the corners, just holding on to the soaring slice just in case. Yep, it's going to go ahead and use it to get out. No, you don't escape far enough. Zispa gets a 2-piece. And does it again. We saw Zispa get the massive multi-kill back on Shambali Monastery to save that map and start this comeback here for Spa. They were down 0-1 at the time. And Zispa gets a big 2-piece out of that sundering. That is not a 1v1 there, Oblivion. You don't want that smoke. You gotta stay alive. You got 15 seconds here for NCSU Red to try to save this series. Oblivion goes in, putting some initial damage on Viola. Overclock out of the window. Trying to keep everybody else away, and you'll catch Viola before they can get around the corner. An important pick, starting things off well, but here comes Zispa once again, diving out of the sky. They're able to trade out 2. And each one of these picks is gonna hurt. So only 3 strong. NCSU have no choice but to soldier on. You see now it's going back to Speed, Ring, Lobby, and Oblivion. There's no DPS here for NCSU. Splice going for some scouting, any kind of early damage, even an early pick. And they're going to go and throw the gravity to see if they can get Zispa out of this fight immediately. This will draw some cooldowns. I think Zispa was caught on the other side of that barrier. But the cart gets close. The DPS are back in this fight. Boca Choco is down. Cornsuolio has an OC in play. Firing towards the Annihilation. You know what? You're turning your attention. See if they can just cut down the healers. Nelix will fall. Oblivion does not connect. And the Spa win it out in 4. Go. GG's. Woo. Both teams showing us off Vendetta and just how crazy scary that hero can be. And then I think I've got to give player of the match there to Zispa for sure. To Zispa for sure. There's just some clutch play. And of course, Wolio was putting up some nasty damage. And Oblivion actually leads the server in damage there at map 4. Spa did not win as many team fights. NCSU won more team fights, but Spa won the ones that count. I mean, we saw NCSU win the opening team fight. It wasn't like they won the first one and just kind of snowballed it. But Spa just won some important ones. They did get the first checkpoint unlocked. I think Zispa in that flex DPS role's got to be your player of the match here today with just some big clutch ultimates. GG's.